to introduce someone very special, Alicia Bevan. She was born in the Glens Falls area. She is known for speaking the truth, being passionate about real estate, interior design, and cooking. Her relentless, never-give-up attitude and practical approach to life have helped her to find success in the food industry and now in her current career as a realtor with Keller Williams Realty. Alicia loves connecting with God through music and uses it as a tool to fight the things out of her control. Alicia currently lives in Greenfield Center with her husband, Peter, and their wonderful 2 boys. So welcome, Alicia Bevan.
I just want to start with praying first. Lord Jesus, I pray that you clear my mind, open my heart, and everyone else's heart, Lord. I pray that you help us to implement whatever we learned today, and that you would help us continuing to fight, always knowing that you have got this. It's your battle in the end. You've already won. So, I want to talk about my story, and I kind of broke it up into like 3 distinct parts to make it simple for me, because it's hard to talk about your story, because the floor's really squeaky. And I'm going to start with a verse, because through these phases, there have been so many verses in the Bible that have helped me. And people too. And a lot of these verses I've learned at events like this, like Corey speaking, or my mother-in-law Mary Jane, or, Matilda. And they just stayed with me and helped me through some really dark times. So I'm going to start with 1 Peter 4:8. Above all, love each other deeply, because love covers over a multitude of sins. And then you ask, what is love? Is it a feeling? And something I've learned over the years is that it's an action. 1 Corinthians 13:4-13 says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking, it is not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrongs, love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. So the first season I'd like to talk about is a growing up season, which obviously I am still in. But there were, in my 20s, I learned some really hard lessons. And they had to do with going up ahead and kind of basically FOMO. I don't know if anyone knows what FOMO is. But FOMO is an acronym for fear of missing out. And I want to go out and do new things, try new things. I kind of have been called a trailblazer by nature. And in my actual life, I have blazed trails with 4-wheelers on our land. Was my favorite thing to do. I didn't actually go on the trails with a 4-wheeler just to go fast. I wanted to make trails. So I literally love blazing trails. I would also love to mow the lawn, and I hear that my mother-in-law has a similar, she does the same thing, where you try to mow a little further to make your yard a little bigger. And Peter and I purchased this old farmhouse about 8 years ago, and the grass was like super long. And our project was to restore this old farmhouse and restore the land, something that my husband and I love doing together. And this grass was so long, and you could not see anything in it. But I wanted to mow that lawn. So I took this lawnmower out, and I hit a rock. because it's in Greenfield and there's rocks everywhere. And you know, the lawnmower would keep going. I'm like, all right, it's okay. We just got a little damage on the blade, no big deal. We can replace the blades, okay? And then, and it's interesting because the rocks you can kind of see because there's no grass growing, but it was an old farm, so there was chains. And I had a chain. So the thing with chains is the grass is super long and you can't see them. And they come out of nowhere. And I'm crying because I'm a lawnmower in this speech. And in my real life, I had a chain. I was out blazing a trail. I was doing something new, and I had a chain. And it got wrapped around, and I couldn't get out. And you know what, with a lawnmower, I quickly went, I got Peter, I was like, hey Peter, the chain's wrapped around there, I'm so sorry, I did it again, I went too far. But in my life, unfortunately, I did not do that. I didn't tell anyone for a while. And I was all alone. We'll say I'm a little lawnmower in the rain, rusting. And it was one of the loneliest times of my life where I gave up, like you were saying, you know, you just gave up because it was too much. It was too big, I was too afraid. But 1 Corinthians says, love rejoices with the truth. And I ask myself, what if the truth is ugly? Do we still rejoice in it? If somebody's telling you an ugly truth, do you say to them, wow. You know, and there is a time for anger or upset, you know, but I ask myself that when somebody's hurt me. Have I rejoiced in the truth when they told that to me? So anyway, I'm not saying I'm all grown up, but through that whole thing, I was shown so much love from my family, and relationships were restored in a different way. You know, we had to take things apart, we had to rebuild, but in the end, it was better and more beautiful because God restored it, because there was love. And, you know, people in my life were patient and kind, and it was hard for me to learn how to honestly love myself again, and but now I realize I need help a lot of times. I need maybe someone to go up ahead. Maybe I'm made to be a trailblazer, right? And I feel like so many times in being a Christian, you think that, or becoming a Christian means that you lose yourself. But I would wager it's you're finding yourself. And God is going to make you a better person with these wonderful people around you, right? So if I would have either slowed down, gotten off the lawnmower, looked ahead for things, right? Or if I don't have time, or if it's particularly dangerous or whatever, ask for help. Say, hey, can you look out for me? Accountability, right? So the other thing is also right away, like saying, I messed up. And I'm rejoicing in this truth, and we are moving on, and moving on quickly. So I wrote a song about freedom, and it's creatively named Freedom Song. It's a compilation of verses that really helped me through that time of just sorting through how to become free, and how to not live in fear, maybe of what people think, or fear of consequences, or fear of like messing up again, right? Like then you have that fear of like you're second guessing yourself all the time, and the difference between what we're learning from today with a self-defense and caution versus fear. You know, and there's such a big difference between caution and fear, and I feel like I've really had to work on the difference between the two. And that's been a big part of my growing up. So, just adjust some stuff here.
Who is the man with you?
And this is assistant principal Peter Bevan of the King School. He's a coach, he's a husband, he's a father. So I came down with a bit of a cold this week. So I'm like kind of trying not to lose my voice. We'll see. So, the second phase. The second phase has to do with life happening to me. Kind of some stuff just happened to me a few years ago that was out of my control, and I had to learn how to heal and slow down and take time. And 1 John 4:18 says, "There is no fear in love, but perfect love drives out fear, because fear has to do with punishment. The one who fears is not made perfect in love." So on September 8th, 2014, I was riding my bike home on a busy road, 9M. It was like a 10-mile bike ride. I love to run and do sports and things like fat and stay fit for my mind. And all of a sudden, I was on the shoulder, it was a really wide shoulder. I hear gravel behind me, and I'm like, why do I hear gravel behind me? I'm on pavement. And I turn around, and there's a red pickup truck and a guy that I lock eyes with. And then I don't remember anything except waking up on the road and thinking to myself, I better get off the road before I get hit again. And I kind of hobbled off the road and sat down and just wanted to fall asleep, basically. And so basically, I got hit by a truck. And long story short, I was okay. It seemed like I was okay. I had a couple back fractures, I broke my nose, major concussion, and I had to have a bunch of surgery on my face, which healed crazy well. Like, you can't really see the scars very well anymore. And so the crazy thing is I thought to myself, wow, like, now I can move on, you know? Because something happened to me, and I can move on with my life and not just think about everything I've always done wrong. And that's not right, right? So I was super thankful that I was alive. The other piece of it was that I felt was from God was you're here for a reason. The police officer said I was thrown 50 feet in the air. It wasn't like a 40-mile-an-hour zone, it was a 55-mile-an-hour zone. He's like, I'm not really sure how you're alive. So it suddenly gave me purpose, and it suddenly, you know, I always knew I had purpose, but it made me feel like I don't want to waste another minute. I don't want to waste anything. So immediately it was like, didn't even think about it, forgave the dude, like, just told the police officer, I don't want to ruin his life, like, whatever, let's just take me to the ambulance, let's get this thing done. And anyway, it seemed like I recovered pretty quickly, but about after 10 months, my back started bothering me more and more, and my health kind of was a little bit off. My brain just wasn't quite the same. I was dealing with a lot of like stress and anxiety. So I decided with a lot of prayer and stuff that we're supposed to go into sort of like a resting season and a pruning back. So I went part-time at my job, and I decided to work 2 days a week and just be a baker, because at the time I was a chef. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to my roots and just be a baker, and just go in for 2 days a week and have low stress and not be in charge of the whole kitchen crew. No sooner did I do that, I ended up having a mental breakdown. My brain completely glitched out to the point of, you know, I wasn't able to sleep for days and days and days. I ended up in a behavioral health unit. My husband had to admit me, and I was there for 4 days, and I had to be put on medication that was very debilitating to me, and it changed my personality. It gave me, you know, my spark was kind of gone, and I had to take that medicine for, I didn't know how long, until I got better. And it kind of resets your brain, but it just kind of takes a lot of other stuff away, I guess. So basically, I decided to be thankful. And it was a decision, because it's really hard when you kind of feel like you're losing yourself. And I decided to just make a list of things I have, things I'm thankful for. And I tried to just be the best stay-at-home mom who had kids in school, so I would joke that I was a stay-at-home dog mom. And, you know, just cook for my family. So I did that for a while, and then my health was still deteriorating. I had achy joints, I had acne, my hair was falling out. I'm like, am I losing my mind? So that was about a year after I got kind of my brain health back, and then my physical health felt like it was deteriorating. And I didn't know what was wrong, and my sister had gotten diagnosed with celiac disease 2 years earlier. And so I just went to the doctor and I said, look, just test me for celiac. I might have it. Like, I have all these symptoms my sister has. So sure enough, I was diagnosed with celiac disease. and it was like not just a little celiac disease, it was like off the charts. They couldn't measure how bad it was. So the test goes up to 100. Normal is like, below 9, and I was just greater than 100. I was greater than 100 for over 6 months, even though I was still gluten-free. I couldn't get my numbers down without being crazy strict. So I started focusing on making sure I was cooking all my own food, not eating outside food. And so basically, they found a connection between my mental illness and celiac disease. I've been completely medication-free for, April was the 3rd year. I have it on my book. Okay. And that's just my story. That's my, anyone else could have a different reason or whatever, but that's just what happened to me. And it's just encouraging to hear, it's not forever a lot of times, and to keep on fighting. Isaiah 40:31 says, "But those who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." And that leads me to my next phase. Basically 2 years ago, I had a career change into the real estate field. Very slowly. I didn't want to go fast. I wanted to have more caution in my life and, have checks and balances. And then I felt like God was kind of like, after a year, I want you to run. Because I felt, like this was something I was very passionate about. This was a field that I always wanted to get into, but I was always scared to. So now I'm doing all the things that I was so scared that was big for me. And it's very exciting. So right now I'm dealing with different challenges. I'm dealing with learning discipline and routine, attempting to live my life with intention every day, owning your own, kind of business. You make your decisions about how you spend your time every day. And I have coaches now, real estate coaches, and they look out for me and are like, "Hey, have you had a day off? You need to slow down." And those checks and balances to make sure that I'm not running, too hard. So I am going to sing a song next called Mountain to Valley, and I want to close with a verse, Philippians 3:13 through 14. "Brothers and sisters, I do not consider myself to have taken hold of it, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward in Jesus Christ."
Amen.
So Mountain to Valley is a song, I sung it. It was like one of the first songs I kind of sang when I started getting back into the mandolin and playing about 6 years ago. And it's just about kind of like promises and desires that God has given you and feeling like, life isn't really going how you expected. But in the end, just His presence covers us. He's always there. We are never alone.